Yo, what's going on? It's G-Roc, aka BDG.
And I'm Jacques Slade, aka Kustoo. And right now, you're watching Random Questions, Random Places with theshoegame.com.
You got that right. Can you explain the name Kustoo?
So the name Kustoo came about when I was in high school. I wanted to be a rapper. I shouldn't even say I wanted to. I was a rapper. I had bars in high school. And because my name was Jacques, people called me Jacques Kustoo. There's a famous deep sea diver, a French guy named Jacques Kustoo. And so it just made sense for me to have that name because, I was deep as a rapper. So, it all kind of fit together. And then the name just stuck. And I tried to spell it in a cool way when I was younger. So it was Kustoo, which really is Kustoo, if you really say it the way it's supposed to. But when I was in high school, I thought that was a cool way to say it, and I had written in graffiti, and it looked extra cool that way, and so Kustoo stuck. And so now I'm forever stuck with Kustoo as Kustoo. Boyz to the Hood or Menace to Society. That's tough because they're both in LA, and I feel like they're both true to the city in a certain way. But I would have to say Boyz in the Hood just because it just seems more iconic to me of the two.
Flight Club or Riff LA?
Flight Club or Riff LA, I would go with Flight Club just because it seems to be the more popular spot, and I've been there more than I've been to Riff, to be honest.
The last time you recorded music?
The last time I recorded music was actually last week. I have a buddy that's doing a short film, and so I'm working on a song for him for his movie. Favorite releases of 2017 so far, definitely Vapor Max would be one of them. I really like, and I know a lot of people don't like it, but I like the Zoom Mariah Flyknit. I really like that shoe. I know a lot of people don't, but I personally do. There was the alternate Motorsports. I really like that one, the black and the blue 4s. Some people didn't like those. I personally really like those. I like Wade's, I can't even think of it, the white, I can't think of the name of it, the nickname of it, but it was a white and tan Way of Wade 5. And then Converse did an all black and an all white Chuck Taylor that I really liked as well.
Top 3 lotions?
Top 3 lotions, Eucerin, cocoa butter, and gosh, that's all I really use is Eucerin and cocoa butter. I don't really use anything else, so I only have 2.
True or false? You used to be a stripper?
True or false? I did not used to be a stripper. I have stripped once. I'll leave it at that. My favorite place to eat in LA is a little taco shop called El Taco Llama. Growing up in LA, you have to learn to love Mexican food. And there's technically El Taco Llama is a chain, but there's one in particular by the college that I went to, which is my favorite spot to go.
Kanye or Jay-Z?
Kanye or Jay-Z? Well, that is a tough question. No, I'm not even gonna say that's a tough question. I'm gonna say Jay-Z. I grew up in Jay-Z's era more than I grew up in the current Kanye era. My formative years were in that when Jay-Z was big era as opposed to when Kanye was big, which is now. So I'm gonna say Jay-Z all the way.
Star Trek or Star Wars?
Star Trek or Star Wars? That is an unfair question. They're just so different in how they portray the world, and then the morals, and then the rules. I can't answer that one. If there's like a gun to my head and I have to choose one, I'm going to say, oh man, Star Trek. The thing to me that makes someone a legend is them being who they are and being totally comfortable in who they are and being able to succeed being who they are, not feeling that they have to transform or do something different. There's people that innovate just being who they are, that are just don't allow themselves to be confined by the rules of society and just break those rules, whether that's as an athlete, as an entertainer, as a businessman, as a creative, whatever that is, just being able to just break free of the rules and change the way people think about themselves and the world. My honest thoughts on Lavar Ball is I think he has a vision, and I think people have to take issue with the way that he implements that vision, but you can't doubt that, one, he loves his kids, and two, that he has put his kids in a position to succeed, which is something that a lot of parents can't say that they've done for their own children. So yes, he's boisterous, yes, he's loud, yes, he's over the top, but he has 3 kids. One just got out of college, and one's going to college, and another one is like going to be, if not the top prospect in high school. So what can you say about him that's negative in regards to what he's done?
3 tips for being successful on YouTube.
My 3 tips for being successful on YouTube. 1 is consistency. You have to always create consistent. That way people can get used to you and get to see your face and become accustomed to you in the way that you do things. 2, make content that you would want to watch. If your goal is to make money on YouTube, then you're never going to be successful. Create things that you would want to see, and there are a lot more people like you than you actually believe. And 3 is find other people to work with. Find people that do similar things and work with them and find some way to incorporate your style with their style and blend the 2. And I think that'll at least help you get better at what you're doing. And as that goes on, people will start to take notice. Between Illmatic, College Dropout, and Reasonable Doubt, I would probably put Illmatic as number 1, Reasonable Doubt as number 2, and College Dropout as number 3. Although if I had to rank them as MCs, I probably would put Jay, Nas, then Kanye. But as far as albums go, I think Illmatic is just such a placeholder for the hip hop world that it's hard to put anything above that.
Who has the best French fries in the game?
The best French fries in the game, I used to say McDonald's because I was a big McDonald's fan. It's hard to say anybody can beat them, but I really like Shake Shack's fries as of right now. As of lately, I would say Shake Shack. I golf probably once a month. I try to golf more than that. I would like to do it 2 times a month, just because I want to get better at it. I really suck at golf. So yeah, once a month right now.
A sneaker that you regret not getting.
A sneaker that I regret not getting is the black Nike Yeezy 2. The black Nike Yeezy 2. I got the platinum pair, and I had an opportunity to get the black pair, and I was like, I'm not paying that much for it. But now that all the Adidas stuff is out, like I want that black one even more than anything else.
Why wasn't Takeoff on Bad and Bougie?
Why wasn't Takeoff on Bad and Bougie? I think he had other things to do. Between Bo Jackson and Deion Sanders, for I would say pure like this is an athlete, I would say Bo Jackson. Just Bo was just like big and huge, and Deion was just like more. He was like athletic, but he just didn't look like Bo. Like Bo looked like a force to be reckoned with, so I would go with Bo Jackson. The first shoe I bought with my own money was a pair of Cortez. See, I'm from LA, and in LA back then, all the gangsters wore Cortez, and like those were the older guys in the neighborhood, and you kind of looked up to those guys because they always had like the fresh gear and fresh clothes, although it was gangster clothes to me back then, and they all wore Cortez. And so all the drug dealers in my neighborhood wore Cortez, and so I wanted a pair of Cortez.
Who is the blind woman Kendrick is talking to in the intro track on Damn?
So the blind woman that Kendrick is talking to on the intro of Damn is actually really not a blind woman. See, Kendrick frames it as a woman that he thought was blind, but in reality, it was a woman who saw more than he had ever seen before. Between Flyknit and Primeknit, it's really 2 different feels, so it's hard to say. Like Primeknit is more sock-like, and Flyknit I feel is more comfortable to me. I would say if I had to choose one of the 2, I would say Flyknit, just because I think Nike does a better job with the patterns and the designs of Flyknit than Adidas does with Primeknit.
Heathcliff or Garfield?
Between Heathcliff and Garfield, you always have to go with Heathcliff, like hands down. If I had a time machine, I would probably go to the future just to see how things progress, and I don't think I would stay. I'd definitely come back.
Tia or Tamera?
Tia or Tamera? How is that even a question? They look exactly. I can't answer that. When I was younger, I was like either one. Like if either one of them gave me a chance, I would have been like, yes, you can have my baby, absolutely.
If God sneezes, what do you say?
I think you just say, cover your mouth next time.
Can you spit a freestyle for the doubters?
Oh my gosh. A freestyle. Goodness gracious, no. I'm so terrible at freestyling.
Or something written?
I have an old verse. Let's see. It only take the Cuddy man a couple bars to do. It'll take another rapper a couple cards to do. And I will say imitate, but I'm a god to you. And I will say follow me, but that's too far for you. Cut money is funny when your flow is this good. The beat is this dope. And your flow is this good. But I'm gonna make $1 million before I hit 3 million. If niggas don't feel me, then the beat they have to feel me because I'm the blah. That's kind of where it goes. How do I want to be remembered? I want to be remembered as a man that was able to take care of his family and leave a legacy behind for those that came after him.